So the lamest thing happened. Do you remember when you when we were playing with the washer yesterday and you heard that clank sound at the end? You know, I thought it was like the piston had collided inside the engine. No such. This side over here, see that bolt? Bring it over. Remember that? Remember those bolts? Yeah. So this is one of the 3 that hold the water pump in place. And well, I looked underneath and I just happened to see the water pump. The leg cracked from right there. I thought it cracked because, you know, it was loose from the one that I didn't attach the other bolt to, but that's not the condition. So we have a cracked water pump leg, and we got to try to fix that or see if it's salvageable. All right, so we're gonna make another mess. Try to pull this off again. See how oily that gets. So let's have that. All right, here it is. Right there. See it? That's what's broken. So we gotta try to save it. See if I can weld it. Oh, that sucks. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's get that bolt off. So that's it. You know, they say steel bends, aluminum is brittle. It just breaks. So it just broke right off. Now this type of aluminum is, like, you know, I've seen this before. See how it's like kind of splotchy on the pattern? This type of like aluminum tends to be very brittle, not exactly strong compared to other types, which is like, you look how shiny this is. You know, this is gonna this might be in a composite. Either way, you can tell that this thing is the cheaper type of aluminum because of that splotty. So I got another one, exact same model, make, and I thought what I'll do, I just get the pump off of this, because the guy said that the pump was functional, right? I'm crossing my fingers, hoping that works. This is in a bit better condition, but if you look closely, there's a lot of wet marks. It might be a little hard to see on this side of the moon, but anyway, maybe that's better. See all that? That is a lot of oil. And right here, that's not water. And that's not an accident. So, see, there's a pattern to this. These things seem to be failing left and right. And I'm not sure what this engine needs in regards to, like, you know, is it just like failure in the head gasket here? I'm not sure. But anyway, it's leaking oil. We're going to pull this apart. This is all new to me because I've never had one with a bottom. We're going to go in and see what we can do to get the I want to get the water pump off of there. So let's have at it, shall we? bottom of this is held on with the T30. 30. A little hard to see. Okay, that's a T30. And we have two of them. One here, one here. That big old friend right there. We have two of them. So kind of coarse threaded. That should free up the bottom. Yep, that does. Wow. This is a very different pump from the other one. Wow, interesting. Yeah, this is a totally different pump. Yep, that's right. It's a totally different pump. Okay, that's not gonna work. Alright, plan B. I gotta go back to trying to weld that thing. Alright. Yeah, so you can you see that pump? Yeah. That pump does not look like the pump on the other one with the same PSI rating. So we have ourselves a very different situation. That explains why. Actually, I don't know. I don't want to jump to conclusions, but either way, the other pump that we had was 3 bolts that attached to here. This has 4 bolts that attach to here. Very different setup. Very interesting, to be honest with you. Alright. Alright, not so fast. Don't think I'm going to move on so quickly. This here, right, you can see that it has the spacing, these 4 spaces for the other type of pump. Looks like it comes with several types of possible pump connections. I don't know. I know that this, and this was where the other pump was attached originally. Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull that other one off, the other pump off, just to see like what we end up with. Put that on this motor and continue from there. It's interesting because I think maybe the other pump, I think it might have been an aftermarket edition. I don't really know, to be honest with you. I don't know what they produced. I just know that it's different from that other pressure washer. So let's just go ahead and clean it up, pull it off, and see what we get. There are 4 half-inch bolts, one there and one here, and they're not exactly easily accessible. So I'm gonna have to use this ratchet and wrench on the really hard ones. Just wanted to show them to you. This one's going to be a little easier to get to, but the I'll spare you the I don't know, maybe I might keep the camera rolling. Let me see what I can do. If it gets too boring, well, not boring. I want to decide your experience for yourself. But anyway, that's one. If I'm fighting too much, I'm gonna just cut it off. 'Cause it's just, I don't really think it's that important. Ah, boy. Hammer would be good. That worked well. Any ideas to making this an easier process, anybody? It's not easy. Now the wrench is stuck. Where the bolts, bolt, and wrench are stuck in the same position. Alright. That was really a pain in the butt. That's number 2. We should have 2 more. Let's see how easy those are gonna. Oh, it's a nice shot of a tire. Let's see whether make it a little lower. That makes more sense. Yeah, that's better. Like that too? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. So this is the easy one. And I have one more right here. So I can use my manly muscles. Yeah, that worked. Alright. I know there's some lady out there that loosened it up for me. So I'm just want to give her some credit. I think it might be called Mom. Or Gaia. Mother Earth. Thanks for doing it for me, ladies. It's this much fun to take off. It's been a lot of fun to put back on. Okay, so we have 4 bolts holding this together. That's those 4 bolts. Great. Alright. Okay. If everything goes well, I should be able to pull this off. I don't think it's going to go well because things usually take a... Oh boy. Oh boy. A moment when your stash of chemicals are getting tossed all over the place. Back up a little bit. this is attached to the bottom of the motor there, and I need a pry bar. I'll be right back. Feel it. So sorry about that, chemicals. Okay. All right. That's vicious. Whew. What do we have? Break the air filter. The air filter is leaning on the That is a serious trouble. Okay, well that's what we have. This is a whole other type of beast of a water pump. Alright. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge to get this plastic cover off. So I got everything else set up for us. We have a 3/8 hex, 2, 4, yeah, hex socket. And we have over here a 3/8 just a, you know, just screws into that. So, all right, let's take this off. This is for the out. I'm assuming what I'm removing right now is a key part of the allows you to add a chemical injection of some sort. So there's a screw in there. Most likely, if there's a spring, that means there's going to be a probably. Oh no, there's no ball in there. Okay, at least nothing I can see right now. So let's just move forward with caution. Okay, so that is going to take a. Where's my wrench? Yeah, I think you're prepared for the shock, and then you're not prepared. Well, that's annoying. Okay, I have a wrench. 1 second. Oops. Can you see? Sorry. Come on. That looks easy to get off, right? Yeah, I know. Alright, it's probably off camera, but take it down. Or not. I'll let you see it. Can you see it? Oh yeah, you can still see it. Wow. The thing is, sometimes you have to ask yourself, is it worth doing it properly or not? Jesus. Gosh, sweet son of a click. Oof. Oh, man, orgasm. Yeah, that was good stuff. Okay. It's a lot of work to pull that off, right? Okay, let's put it back on. Now I'm going to put some more Teflon tape on this. Okay, I'll put some Teflon tape on this. Just to get this started again so it doesn't leak. Or minimize the leakage. Here we have our little spring friend. I'm cramped for space down here, man. Hope you people enjoy the intimacy of this garage. Can you see that? There. You move over. There. Can you see that? All right. So, oh yeah, I did have a ball in there. It just fell out. So that goes in there. Like that. And there's a spring that goes in here. Like this. At least I hope that's the right order. Would it be the other way around? The ball is in there. Oh boy. What do you think? Ball in there? Ah, no. You know what? I'm gonna have to go look and see what the anatomy of this thing is. I think it's the ball bearing in here and then the spring. That's what makes sense. Yeah, alright, I'm gonna have to double check. Oh, it's always something. So that is definitely the chemical injector that we're gonna put back in, and it does have a specific order to it. The bearing goes in first, and then the, you can see that. Bearing goes in, and then the spring. So what we're gonna do is just get some Teflon tape around this. Since it's probably never been removed ever. There's no reason to ever remove it if you're not ever. Okay. Yes, we could probably go like this. Alright, this is the moment you don't want to really mess up, because if that thing goes flying anywhere, you're going to be so screwed. Fillet that. We'll just go right in. Yeah, this is 3/8. Alright, so that's the order. Okay, now we want to take this. Oh, this is so fancy. They have a little holder to keep this off the ground. How nice of them. I'm going to try to slide this, connect this to the bottom of that. That uses 4 bolts, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, here's the hard part, people. This keyway is different from the other water pump. I thought this was going to be a metric, just because this pump's made in Italy, but it's not. It's in inches. So I'm going to. This here is a 5/12, so it's going to be 5/12. And I'm going to loosen this up. So rightsy tightsy, lefty loosey. Let's see if I can do this easily that way. No, sometimes these things need a little bit of torque, which you can't seem to get. It's going to tighten. I need to turn it that way to loosen, but I'm having a hard time. Yeah, I'm having a little hard time. I need, like, that goes well. Maybe a socket? Yeah, that should work. Oh, look at that. Look at that shenanigans right there, huh? All that just to break that loose. Wow, it's a lot of stuff. Okay, so that's that keyway. Actually, I don't want to take it out, so I don't know what I'm doing. Don't pay attention to me. I might just cut this out of the video. All right, so we got the motor here, but I want to show you the. We gotta take this keyway off here, and not really sure if it's going to be easy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that's working. Alright, that's important. Let's save that. Hopefully it won't go flying away on a magnetic tray at some point. So we need to place this pump here onto this shaft here. Something like this. Alright, so we got to get that into there, and then that's going to screw onto that. Alright, that's going to be the fight that we're in for. I noticed last time when I did this, I didn't do this properly. You need to put some anti-seize on that. So to make your life a little easier for future repairs. Put some anti-seize on there. And I still think I should try to let's get this in the right position. Oh, I see. That actually, that looks like a better spot for that keyway. Something like that. Yeah. Okay, so that will work. It's definitely gonna work. I just need to check it before I go picking a fight. Okay, and since we know that's going to work, coat this thing with, actually, let's just throw the anti-seize here. So I'm just using copper anti-seize on this. If you want to know what that is. Alright, so I'm going to be super awkward with this because, again, this is not... Actually, let's double check these bolts, make sure they will fit. We have 4 of these. Also, do you think that the pump that I took off was the was originally the pump that was on this, or was it it had failed and you just replaced it with another pump? What do you think? I'm kind of unsure. Just gonna lubricate these. Make my life a little easier when I go to screw them in an awkward position. Okay, this one a little questionable about. Feels a little difficult. I'm not sure why. Okay, so I can tell you now, a little worried about this here. Maybe I'll clean up the threads a little. Because these bolts are pretty good. They go into all of these fairly easily. See that? But this one here, something else is impeding. Let me see. I'm just being too cautious. Feels questionable a little bit. See how easy that goes in. Yeah. Alright, cool. I'm going to clean that thread up. I don't trust what I'm experiencing. Right. I'll be back. You can see I've failed a lot in this department. That's why I'm being so cautious. Alright, take a look. It's got like crap in there. I don't know how well we can see it with the light. But it does have some junk in there. And I'm just going to blow it out with air and try to screw it back down to see what... Yeah, those threads are messed up. I'll have to actually rethread it. Good thing I did it now than be underneath the straw. Okay, so I know this is, those bolts are going to be American standard. So I take my SAE gauge and I line up the threads. I can see that this is 24. That's the number that's on here. It might be a little hard to see, but maybe you can see it, but I can't see what you can see too clearly. So that lines up really well. Let's see. And then what you do after that is that you find the tap, right? That matches. So that matches perfectly. Right, and this is a 24. This is 5/16 NF24. So 24 would be the amount of threads per inch. Okay. Alright. So get that started. We're just going to like here. Look at that. I want to do a little bit of a lubricant in there. Just a little bit. Alright, so what you would do, you usually go about two turns forwards, half turn back, forwards, same thing, 2 turns forwards, half turn back. But this is not, we're not trying to like cut new threads. We're just trying to clean it up, so because of that, we don't have to do so much. I just went all the way till it bottomed out, so that way the bolt can have its full range. The T-handle is really important because it helps keep the pressure even versus like a wrench or something like that where it's like all on one side. So if you can get your T-handle to do this, it's going to be a lot better for the actual tap process. Okay, so that's that. Probably didn't see much, did you? Aha, I suck. Anyway, that's good. So we should check this now. Actually, I'm going to blow this out so because there'll be metal parts. Get your glasses. That goes all the way down. Try it over here. It goes same distance all the way down. So there you go. That's how we do that, and that way we won't be fighting. Just perplex as to like why things are not going into position. All right. should attach the motor first, since the pump itself will doesn't require any special. Okay. Oh, dear Lord. Dear Lord. Okay. I think this should be on top. Alright. I'll give you... We're going to need to attach the this motor to this chassis, but you know what? You already saw me do it before, so you can just look at that old video, a part of the video. So I'm just going to screw that in and then bring you back when that's done, and I'll bring you back when we're going to put the pump on, alright? I know some of you are probably laughing at me right now. So I went to go screw this back in, right? Smallest one first, right? I noticed that when I tighten it down, it's got so much play. Well, that's because the water pump actually screws onto that. Silly me, right? It's okay. Here's plan B. Smaller bolt. Alright, so definitely less thickness and gauge, so I don't know how the rating's going to be in regards to its safety wise, but it's smaller, it's thinner in gauge, and it's much shorter, so that should work. I'm going to replace it with that and screw it back together, and I'll bring you back. So I'm a little reluctant to do this, tip this all the way to the side, because it's going to leak up oil, but I think it's just going to make my life a little easier, so try to do it as quickly as possible. Let's see what how well I can get this on here. We have this one's a sheet out there in front, so we need to just get these bolts lined up. I'll do the one that was needed to tap first. That's good. Grab the other one on the opposite side down here. I'm keeping this all loose because, again, I need to make sure that I can thread all these back together easily. Maybe this one will be easier. That one's good. I'll show you. That's the tricky one right there. Can you see it? It's a little hard to see, but my headlamp's out, so I'll flash a light in here so you can get an idea. You know, the more I use stuff, the more I fix things, the more I realize that entropy is a lot more active than I thought. So that's what I got to do. No way to really get that in there. Hold it. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. So that's that. Perfect. And those bolts were, I'm sorry, before we do say perfect, we had to tighten that down. Remember the Allen key here? Let's see. This is a 5/12. Remember that? So right here, I'm going to line that up so I can tighten it. That's going to be a little tricky, so I had to use the pull start to turn the motor. Oops. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Everything's good. No one's injured. Alright, so pull the pull start here until get the, okay. So that's lined up. Can you see that? I don't even know what you're seeing anymore. Okay. There you go. So I'm trying to get that now. Yeah, you can't see it. Hold on. It's too low. Let me bring it up a little. Alright, so right here, I want to get into Allen key right. Oh, I can't see anything. 1 second. Try that again. So we have to get the Allen key here. That should be better. Let's see if that works. That right here is what we want to tighten down. I feel like I need like a lift for this thing. Like a pressure washer lift. There's such a thing. Oh. Alright, so that's pretty tight. Okay, I can't get that any tighter, so I'm going to leave good enough as it is, and we should be able to test it. I don't think I want to reset the governor to check to modify the idle. It's a little high. It's at 4,000 RPMs, but it can go to like, it said 3,700 I think, or 3,800. This should be the high RPMs. Not too bad. For me, if you ask me, I think about settings, so I'm going to leave that alone, and then we should just test it and see if this pump actually works. I totally forgot to tighten these up. These are all 1/2 inch. And they're super tricky to get to. So. If I'm not wrong, I think it would be a good idea to put some, what do you call it, Loctite on these. Only because of the, yeah. Let me test it first before I put the Loctite on. So I'm just going to tighten this down. Back it out so you can see what's happening. So I'm just tightening this down, and I'll put some Loctite on after. That'll work. Yeah, no. All right. Underneath there. Okay. Now that feels good. Alright. Okay, we got a pressure washer with a pump on it. Hopefully it's functional. You ready to test it? Let's go test it. And the gun's problematic. What happened was, like, it built up so much pressure in the gun, it wouldn't release. It trapped the engine from turning over, and it shut it off. That's what just... Alright, so I got it done. I had just the governor. The RPMs are right now. You can listen to it and you'll hear the difference. Okay, it's running at like top, it was like 3,700 as specified. And it's not on high load, it's somewhere like around like 2,900. Alright, so take a listen. There are 3 bolts that really could use a little bit of Loctite, and I'm using I recommend Loctite 271. It's red, and these are the bolts. We have 3 of these on top that hold the pull start. There's one here that's missing. I'm gonna put that back, and here. Okay, and then under here, see these bolts? Remember that? Those hold the engine block on. I would throw some Loctite on those also. There's 3 of them. Oops. There's a 3rd one right here. Okay, so just go ahead and put Loctite in those, and pressure washers in general. I've noticed that there's a recurrent problem with the hoses and the filters. The hoses themselves. That was not supposed to happen. Okay, great. So the hoses themselves, if you look here, you'll see that they tend to have either a missing O-ring or an O-ring that is failing. You can see that thing's really cracked, right? Let me see if I can give you a better shot. No, back it away. Okay, there you go. See how that's failing? And this is missing. And this is just from the pressure hose itself, right? The other problem is that this is a common missing in action piece. It's a hose filter, right? Now it should be a generic size, and so I got 2 parts to help us with this. I'll show you what the part numbers are. Okay, so the O-rings. Okay, these are the O-rings that I'm going to use. It's the part number X0024GK5S5FJ, and these are for M22 Quick Connect, which is what this classification of like hosing is. Really important, because if you go to try to find these at like a hardware store or any place that sells fit-ins, they tend to not understand that pressure washer things they have different sizes. The M22 is the size that's the way that they categorize it. It's kind of weird to thread in and pitch. The other thing is it's these filters right here. So these water filters are X002556LX2R. These filters they're supposed to be generic for hoses. So anywhere you put like a hose in, that size is supposed to be fairly a generic size. And let's do it together. Let's show you what the challenges are with dealing with these things. Okay, so check your pressure washer, because again, if it's missing that, it's like fast way to destroy the pump. If the pump has no filter on there, it's just anything can fly in there and destroy it. You know. All right, so let's have at it. Let's do that first. Okay, so now the problem with these things is like when you get them, right, you can buy one for $4.99, or you can get 20 for $6. You know, it's like a weird kind of like, well, I'm gonna probably do this again, but not 18 times, you know. So it's a little frustrating, right? Okay, so see that almost fits there. Okay, tricky, but anyway, put this in like that. What I'll do, I'll test it. If it seems to be leaking like a sieve, what I'll do is at that point pull that gasket out and see if this by itself works. Cool. Alright, so that's that. Let's talk about the missing in action tip here. Make sure I can see what you see. Okay, great. So this needs a... See, this doesn't feel like that's going to work well. See, it's got a little bit too much play right here. You can see it already. You know, like this one's set really well inside of that groove. Let's see. I don't know. It might work. We'll find out, won't we? Okay. Well, anyway, back to this. I had an O-ring set. This set comes with 2 sizes. That might be too big. Yeah, that's the bigger size is definitely not the right size. Okay. Well, it's a 50-50 chance you get it right, so let's go the smaller one. Looks a whole lot better. Let's look at the other side. Yeah, that O-ring looks a lot larger than this one. I don't know. I'll give it a try with both sizes and see what fits better. Okay?